Ah,
Oh, no. No one can hear us.
no wonder why they were coming and going.
Well,
I
hope
saw
you-
people would come in and then they'd be like, well, I can't hear this.
You can't hear us?
Jeez.
Let's start over. Hey, everyone. Angelo
Hey.
Hare, your favorite Las Vegas realtor. We
I'm
talked a lot. For those of you that are going to rewatch this, we're sorry. We had a sound issue.
Yeah.
But oh well. So welcome to our market update. We are going to be going over March 2024 numbers. And also we're going to go over, break it down, what happened last month, as well as our predictions of what we feel is going to happen for the spring selling season and what the builder incentives are for April and who won the bet last month. Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll try to, just go through it. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment and we will,
Yeah.
answer as much as we can, right?
We'll go off on it here.
Let's start over.
Yeah. I'm just so glad that I heard some yelling and I was like, wait.
Yeah, Damien was like, we can't hear you guys. So luckily Damien said something.
Yeah, thank you, Damien.
Yeah, I've never had technical issues on StreamYard before.
Well, and that was whoops.
Yep. Oh well. All right, so let's get down and dirty. So last month we had 2,082 single family homes that sold, and that was up 9.8% from the prior month, but down 11.8% from the prior year. And I was having a great little story, a tangent going on, and now I can't remember what I was saying. Do you remember?
Well, you were talking about how things have been in the past, and you.
Right. So sales last year were down consecutively. However, the median price still kept on going up because we still had the lack of inventory. This year, we're still getting new listings, but those new listings are getting gobbled up as soon as they're getting listed, right?
Yep. It's like one comes on and one goes off. One
Exactly.
comes on, one goes off.
Exactly.
And maybe a little bit more goes off.
So I would say for the last 3 months of this year, the sales have been up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's certainly we've ramped up.
We've ramped up, and my prediction is that we're going to continue that trend at least for this spring selling season.
Yep.
At least until June, is my thoughts.
Yeah, I think so. Just basing it off of personal, business is happening out there.
Right.
And then what I'm seeing others like yourself and, anybody who's clicking along.
Yeah. And I think the reason why we're going to see a more of an uptick this season is if this whole NAR settlement takes into effect. There's a lot of misconception, and Rob and I did a video last month on the NAR settlement and what it really means. But some buyers and some sellers are misconceiving how the ruling ended. But at the end of the day, what came out of it was that buyers will need to sign a buyer brokerage agreement with their buyer's agent before they even can see a home. And number two is that no longer on the MLS is the listing agent or broker allowed to disclose the cooperating commission to the buyer's agent.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen in July, right? So a lot of people are going, well, wait a minute, what does this mean? Especially buyers, they're saying, well, what does this mean for me?
Right.
And I don't think it's good for at least at first.
Right.
It's not going to be particularly wonderful.
A lot of sellers are misreading it and saying that they don't have to pay the commissions at all. And the media is misleading to what it really means. And they're having scare tactics, in my opinion.
Yeah. So far, I haven't dealt with sellers who actually think that.
Right.
People that I've dealt with are going, yeah, that's really not going to fly, because immediately, I mean, even if somebody says something like that, I'm like, okay, so what are you expecting when who's coming to show your home if you're not offering an agent commission? Is it going to be just a buyer that knocks on the door or calls your listing agent, and then you're just not paying your listing agent to represent both sides? I mean, these things all have to be sorted out. So do you want unrepresented buyers coming to your property? No, that's going to be a terrible idea. So there's my real thing is just that it's got to shake out.
Right.
And I think at first you brought this up in our video that we did on it, which is that it could actually slow down the market.
Yes.
Which I think the more I look at it, the more I think that's very likely.
Yes, definitely. I think because of the mass confusion of what really is and isn't, it will shake up the market wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it's really going to affect until we're actually in it. Right?
Yeah, there's still it's so vague, and I mean we have some details, but ultimately how that all gets worked out. I mean, let's just say, for example, right now you decide to list your property right now. It's still on the market when July hits, and now you're not supposed to have a commission on there.
Right.
We really don't know how that's going to get handled. I think that personally, I'd say, you got to go about how we know how to do it right now,
right,
until we have the understanding. Now, there's going to be some, I was watching some people, there's going to be some ways around things.
Yes.
Like, for example, sellers saying that they're going to offer a concession. Well, that concession could be just open-ended.
Right.
And now you can at least say, okay, seller is offering concessions. Let me talk to my buyer. You don't have to pay me. I think I can get the seller to pay me.
Right.
And now the buyer goes, okay. But again, buyer walking into a property, signing on the dotted line before they do, saying, I'm going to pay this person opening the door.
Right. Well, I think it's going to weed out a lot of agents, one, that aren't experienced.
Yeah.
And two, buyers are going to be extremely picky on who they choose. However, buyers may be trying to get a deal and only find agents that are offering a much lower commission percentage, which may not be beneficial to them, because if you're working with discount agents, you're going to get that discount service.
Without a doubt.
No
doubt about it. I just don't see experienced agents accepting that they should not
settle.
Get paid for their, for you and I, what we've cultivated years and years of understanding, and that we bring to the table when we are helping somebody. I think that's
well, I mean, you got to understand that us as agents, we don't get paid until the deals close. So all the endless hours of showing houses and working with the title company and the lender and negotiations and everything is,
it's your whole
we don't
life.
Get paid.
It's your whole life.
Yeah, but we don't get paid until it closes.
Yeah.
So basically we're working free until it closes.
And this job, look, this isn't I think it's just about explaining maybe to the public a little bit about what we do, but a really good agent is working with you almost 24/7 to some degree. I mean, 8 to 9 o'clock at night, you could be at least sometimes later.
I've been pulling 14-hour days for the last week.
Yeah. I mean, and you're just going and going. And this is something that I think that people just completely misconstrue. So you're getting a lot out of good agents. You're getting a lot because you're getting protection when you buy a property, something that's the most expensive thing most people deal with in their lives. And you're getting a lot of, protection with experience there from good agents.
Well, you're also getting their expertise and knowledge of the areas, because oftentimes I work with out-of-state clients and they know me from the areas that I focus on. And you're not going to want an agent that doesn't know about the parks or the amenities or anything that's involved in that community, because not only do the neighborhood sell the home as well, not just the home itself, but the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And I've always been neighborhood centric.
Schools, the churches, you name it, to having that community understanding. And this isn't just, I live here and I know these things. There's a little bit of that,
right?
But we have to seek out. This is our other work that we're doing. That's part of basically our marketing, but also showing what we do and how we can show you what
our value
is here. Yeah. So, how are you going to take any of that away? That's just not going to happen. I mean, the community-based realtor cannot go away, because it will be a serious disservice to anybody that's buying homes out there. I just totally believe that, and without a doubt.
I mean, granted, buyers that live in state, that's another story, but our focus is relocation, and all the people that are moving from out of state need that expertise when it comes to neighborhood knowledge.
Buyers that live in state, they live in state, and unless they're renting, they're selling. So now they're going to use you as your listing agent, of course, because
Right.
if they have trust in you. Now, what are they going to do? Not use you as the buyer's agent? So now they have to pay you one way or the other. This just doesn't add up. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out.
All right, enough about that. We're going to talk about the numbers, and we're going to go into the median price. So last month, we went from 460,000 in median price to 465,000, which was a 5,000 increase, up 1.1% from the previous month, and up 9.4% from the previous year.
Yeah. Wow.
So just to go back to last month's market update, I kind of was a little generous on the increase, but I knew there was going to be an increase based on market trends of what we see every spring season here in the Las Vegas Valley, especially in 2023, where we saw the lowest median price dip to 425 in December 2022. And then in January 2023, it went up and we ended up at 444,900 or something like that, almost 445,000. So we did see a 6% increase in 2023 over the year. The bulk of that increase happened during the spring selling season. So based off of the data provided from years past, my guess was we will continue that trend.
Absolutely.
And with that said, since we are currently now at 465, the peak of the market in May of 2022 was at 482,000. I said in last month's video, and I still hold true to that, I do believe that we will at least reach that peak either in May or June or surpass that peak. My personal,
it's a big projection.
Yes, but I mean, if we increased 15,000 the month before, 5,000, we may be right at the peak as we were 2 years ago.
Yeah, and I think as we get into what else is happening, there's some evidence to show that that there are the right conditions potentially.
Right.
So, I mean, what I just going back to our median price increase and how much it increased the month prior in February to March, that's where I was like, can it do it again?
Yeah.
That's amazing. If it does, it still went up 5,000. That's nothing to spit at.
No, nothing. That's nothing.
That's a total of 20,000 in 2 months. So,
and we haven't hit the peak of the selling season, right?
We're hitting a stride now, right?
We're hitting the stride now, like April.
A lot of closings to come.
Yes.
And I'm sure, I
have 6 closings next month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I suspect, and once we get into our predictions, we'll have a pretty hefty median price increase for the month of April.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be a big one for me too. I got a lot this month and next month.
So basically, from March 2023 to March of 2024, we had a 40,000 median price increase. Okay. So in March of 2023, we're at 425,000, and we hung around that 425 for a minute, right? Then in March of 2022, we were at 460, which was almost before that peak. So we're above March of 2022. So that's why I'm predicting that
one more lift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in March of 2021, we were at 363,000. So, I mean, it would be funny to see the March 2020 number. I should have written that down. But from 2020,
like 325 or something.
1 to 2024, that's 102,000 increase in median price.
Yeah.
In 3 years.
Yeah. Inflating.
Yes. All right. So the median price. So let's get to condos. People are leaving us. Don't leave us. Come on. Our information is good. So for condos, the median price went from 283,000 to 282,500. So it decreased by $500, which is 0.2% decrease, but it's still up 8.7% from the prior year.
Yeah. I've seen a little bit of barely slow down in that condo market.
It is, because I have a townhome listing that's priced very well, nicely updated, single story. And we've had like 30 showings and one offer, but I haven't gotten the right offer. So I would have thought that it would have sold by now. But
I'm seeing the same thing, by the way, on my listings. Lots of showings, and then you'll get 1 or 2 offers. It's not the windfall of offers,
right. It's
but
not like the multiple
happening.
offers. There are multiple offers probably on certain listings. But
Yeah, like if these were like if you're a little lower price, but yeah, maybe in the townhomes condo market in particular, you're seeing that there's a little bit of all right, we're maximizing what people can actually do in that area.
Yeah, because people are pretty limited in that price point. I mean, if you financed a $350,000 townhome or condo and with very little down, your monthly payment is ridiculous. It's like $4,000. So it's like, I mean, who wants to buy and who can afford that?
They're putting a lot of cash in if they're doing it and trying to get a smaller,
but most of those types of buyers are first-time home buyers, FHA and VA buyers that don't have the capital.
I agree.
To put into it. So, I mean, I don't agree with how the prices are increasing. Unfortunately, we're just here to analyze the numbers and tell you how it really is. But it's just hard on the market. Now, the interest rates haven't increased like they had anticipated, and decreased, sorry.
No.
So I don't know if they're going to decrease
they're
at
not
all.
Going to. That's something I will drop on you right now. Rates are going to stay where they're at. There's a small chance they could actually raise rates with the way that inflation just popped up.
Right. I haven't seen where
it went
inflation
up.
is.
It's gone up the last, so it's a little bit of a, it's a little teetery.
Well, so my thoughts is that if the interest rates don't decrease or if they increase or remain the same, when we have this NAR settlement that takes into effect in July, that's really going to take a shift in the market. And I have a feeling that sellers are not going to be selling unless they offer those concessions, because buyers will not be able to afford to pay their agents.
Nope.
And they won't be able to afford those interest rates.
Yeah, no. I mean, unless again somehow you get the cut rate agent that does some stupid low number that you're just
you get
not
the price
getting,
that you pay for. Right?
Yeah, you don't look for the deal in permanent stuff. Not that way. It's like I always say, don't look for the deal on the tattoo. It's permanent. You want somebody who knows.
You want the best tattoo artists out there, right?
Yeah.
Don't if your tattoo costs $200 and you find someone that does it for $50, I'd be going with a $200 person.
Just saying,
right?
It's a big deal, and I wouldn't do that. I've learned the hard way on some of those things.
Right.
All right. I looked for the deal and it didn't. The deal was bad. That sometimes the deal is just the deal. You got to get into it. Right now, that's what you're seeing in housing. If you need to buy, especially in Las Vegas, and if the rates were up to Las Vegas, what's happening here, they'd be going up. No doubt in my mind. But what's happening across the country is different than what's happening in Vegas. Not every place is the same as here.
Right. So with that said, as sellers, if you want to sell, now is the best time to sell, and buyers, now is the best time to buy, because of the unknown with the lawsuit.
It may be convoluted for what I would hope is a short period of time.
Right.
We all get sorted out, but the middle of the summer looks a little like, what's going to happen there?
Right.
And that could extend out. We don't know.
Exactly. So from March 2023 to March 2024, we had a 22,500 median price increase in condos and townhomes. So March 2023, the median price for condos and townhomes was $260. So we're well above that median price. And in March of 2022, it was $270. So we're well above that price. And then March of 2021 was $194,000. So 2021, even though it was like a very robust market, that's when it was the time to buy, right?
2020, 2021,
yeah.
And
before. Yeah.
Thank goodness we were able to do that with our places, right?
Yeah, I bought mine in 2019. When did you buy yours?
18.
Oh, okay. So you've been 6 years?
Yep.
I've been 5 years. I love my house.
Just improving our houses right now because we're not going anywhere.
My HOA denied me on everything.
Ah.
I wanted to get those modern black garage doors with the side windows, the 4 windows.
Yeah.
So I had to come up with a new game plan. They did not approve my modern door I wanted. You know, HOAs have their pros and cons, right? They're good and bad. And right now I'm really hating mine because my house was built in 1992. Come on, people. We need to like modernize the aesthetic of our exterior and not look like every house, right?
Yeah.
At least to some degree and not overboard, but at least some modernization, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think there's a threshold where an area or in a subdivision can start to get beyond where it just the exteriors look really dated, and
Right.
if their HOA is being too strict about keeping it that way, so the dam will break in some way at some point, but it's obviously not yet.
But it's like they're preventing me to have any improvements on my exterior that would make the neighborhood even look better. And maybe other neighbors will follow suit. They say, hey, this neighbor has this beautiful house. I want my house to look like that.
Well, it's a double-edged sword in a way, because they have to be careful about, well, what, beauty in the eye of the beholder type thing.
True.
Is, well, I know what you would do would be amazing. If other people, and they look at it and go, okay, they're going to improve the house, but then they improve it in a way that's like nobody else would do that.
Right.
And then now you're opening up a can of worms where the whole neighborhood feels like, geez,
Well, I decided to go for, I showed you the one door, like the wood looking.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, okay, they won't approve it. So I saw a couple of doors in the neighborhood that had, because I have a double door with the 5 panels with the frosted glass.
You can do that.
And I saw a couple houses like that. So I took pictures and wrote their address when I submitted my architectural design.
They may have done it without submitting.
They did, because we'll have to wait to the committee meeting to
boy.
approve it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go down. I can find more houses that have red doors, green doors that aren't to code. But, I don't want to do that. But still, I'm just trying to prove a point that you better prove my front doors.
Yeah, this is how it happens, folks. Right here.
Well, when you got a negotiator, like I got to negotiate this.
Yeah, I understand.
All right. So the luxury market, there was 133 homes that sold in the month of March that were over $1 million. And the month before was only 131. So it was only like a 2-home increase. But the median price remained flat at $1.4 million in the luxury market. So it's pretty.
Yeah, I saw the numbers tick up a little bit for luxury availability as far as inventory, but I guess we'll get into that. Luxury has just been, it doesn't move at the same.
Yeah, but 133 has been more than we were normally seeing. It was like in the 70s.
It's still pretty strong.
Yeah.
And it's really, a lot of these are cash sales, as you know,
right.
And that's why it's kind of moves with its own shimmy and shake. But it is a little bit going to show that, hey, this is what people with money think about Las Vegas.
Right.
They want to come here.
Well, and I don't know if we talked about this in the last market update, and if I'm sure everyone's aware of the whole new Sony studios being built, like how many acres? 15 acres. They're doing 15 studios right off of Town Center in the 215. They're also going to have like a shopping center to support the studios. So, and that area, right off of that area, is the most luxurious, expensive homes in Summerland South, because you have the Summit, the Ridges, Mesa Ridge, that you can have the new Ascension. So it's everywhere you drive, there's, a high car.
And there's not going to be any housing left to buy over there.
Right.
Including all of those, all these really high-end places that they don't have any lots to sell anymore. I mean, they're all getting built on if they're still left to build on. Well,
the value is there, especially you remember when Mesa Ridge started, it was like 900,000, and now they're going for like 3 million. If you can get into Ascension, even though they're starting at 1.5, 1.8, 1.7, the value is going to be there in a couple of years, I do believe.
It's aptly named.
Yes.
Because I think it will ascend.
I went under contract with house in Ascension.
Nice.
Yeah.
The
Point, Toll Brothers. I mean, Pulte. Yes, sorry. The Point. It was the Kingsgate floor plan.
Okay.
I'm super excited, and I'm working with another client over in Toll Brothers, trying to get them locked down at Ascension. Toll Brothers has been very hard to get a hold of, and a lot of these builders won't open until probably their model homes until May or June.
I thought they looked a little sooner than that, but I
They
guess
do, but
doesn't matter because they're selling them
they're
anyway.
selling them, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're selling them on just like, hey, this is what
They're selling without the model homes.
this is what we think it'll look like.
Yep.
Well, you're walking through what, sticks right now?
Well, a lot of them are done, and if you do, we had an appointment last weekend with the Toll Brothers, so we were able to look at the model homes.
Okay.
But it's only appointment only, and
Wow.
that's if your client gets approved through the VIP list. Because how it works is if you're interested in Toll Brothers, you sign up for the VIP list, you fill out that buyer questionnaire, and then they'll call you to set up a one-on-one showing of the model homes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
They just running the show,
Yeah. But the good thing is both Pulte and Toll Brothers, for the most part, especially in the point from Pulte and then the High Rock and Ridgeline, the ceilings are 16 foot, and High Rock, the ceilings are 14 foot. And at Ascension, the ceilings are 14 foot.
Nice.
So they're nice and tall ceilings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to the numbers. Do we have any questions? Nope. Come on, folks. Give us some questions.
Have you heard about the new community going in at Summerland West?
What, the Madre Peaks?
No, Amaya.
No. Who's that by?
This is going to be custom lots, just
nice.
like it's going to be like a summit.
Look at you schooling me on Summerland.
I got some inside information from a client who lives up there.
Oh, that's nice.
I was like, well, how did you how are we not hearing about this?
Right.
But they're going to be these, the lots will be customizable. It's not going to be, it'll be whatever builder you choose to go in there and build on it.
That's great, because I've been saying for a long time they need another summit up in Summerland.
Yeah.
So I would imagine it's going to be closer to the Red Rock Canyons, right?
It'll be up there,
yeah.
And then up beyond that park that they're going to do the Grand Park
District.
So that is something that area needed as far as to just kind of have that crown jewel, and supposedly it's going to be competing with Summit and maybe higher end.
Well, that elevation is very high too, because we were just up there yesterday and we're wondering, because we saw this like really modern sign close by, and we're like, I wonder if that's going to be the more luxury neighborhood. I didn't know what it was. I just knew that they were due for something like that. But the elevation, you're going to have beautiful mountain backdrop, and then you're going to have the city views. Yeah. So those lot premiums are going to be in the millions.
Yep. And I think they're going to start taking $100,000 deposits on
reservations.
Yep.
And because there's La Madre Peaks or Madre Peaks that's going to be up there as well. And then you have the Grand Park District, that the only builder that they've announced so far is KB Homes, and that's called Alton. And they're going to have two collections there. They're going to have their, like, the reserves and the landings. They're going to have like the single story and the bigger 2-story homes in there. Okay. But that's all that's been disclosed. And I just wonder when they're going to finally build that urban core, because it's just, they need to start building some more shopping in that Summerland West area.
Yeah, well, it's all in the plans. And so what I always like is an area like that where you're going. And same thing when we talk about Summerland South, is it's still growing. You're buying now, and you're buying into something that's going to get even better, So,
I mean, just think, when, like Stonebridge Village, which is Summerland West, I sold some Taylor or Lennar homes, and they bought it like in the 800,000 range, and they're double the price. So buying in there, people have seen such great value and equity increases over the last 4 years. And so it's only going to continue to go up because of, one, the Sony Studios and what Summerland has to offer.
Yeah. Once that Grand Park is in there, and then the urban core, we're getting some questions.
Yeah.
Here,
but what is the inventory levels in Summerland? I'd have to look. I mean, it's pretty low. I mean, all levels across the Las Vegas Valley is low.
Summerland is the most popular area,
but it is the most expensive area. So if you're thinking about buying something in Summerland that's new construction, It's going to cost over 600,000. Well, it depends. If it's those townhomes, it could be in the 400,000. But if you want a bigger house, it's going to be, 800, 900, a million plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What else is he saying?
Are they opening new communities there? Or are they just finishing out current inventory? They are trying to get some new communities open. And as Ange mentioned, KB is one of the ones that we know up there. We know that there's development happening. It's just a ways off, a lot of it.
Right. I mean, the Kestrel Village is almost sold out, right? You still got some Pulte homes left in there. As we know, Falcon Crest is pretty much sold out. Crested Canyon's pretty much sold out. All you have left really in there is the Osprey Ridge by Richmond American. And then to the left of that, or heading south, you have the Kestrel Commons, which you have the Viero by Woodside Homes. You have Quail Cove by KB Homes. Then you're going to have Raven Crest, which are 3- and 4-story townhomes by Toll Brothers. And then right now you have Nighthawk by KB Homes. But those are the lower end single family homes. They're tightly packed together, with some of them only having a 2-foot driveway. So the part of, and we say this in every video, for that Kestrel Commons district or village is to build up and to have more dense population, because it's going to be so close to the urban core.
Would you in your estimation, would you say that the Tri-Point Vertex is the best for that area as far as like having a single family?
Well,
even though it's a townhome.
Yeah, Vertex is part of the Red Point Square Village.
Right, but that's right there.
It's but then you got the urban core as a dividing line between Kestrel, right? Where you're at for Vertex, you will have some views, but not like the views over in the Kestrel Common side.
Okay, so less views, but
it's Tri-Point Homes, which has a little more modern finishes, a little better builder, right?
Yeah, getting a little bit more of a lot. And,
right. And then you also have Cordillera over there in the Red Point Square Village, which is by Toll Brothers, that are the 3- and 3-story townhomes that have, some of them have that rooftop deck.
Okay.
A Highline by Lennar Homes is almost sold out over there in the Red Point Village as well, Red Point Square Village. So it's amazing how fast things are moving and shaking.
Yeah.
And Summerland West really doesn't have anything really that's single story or single family that's, decent. Right. Yeah. And that's why the Alton, I think it's Alton over in the Grand Park District, but that's not anticipated to open until the end of this year.
Yeah, that's the trouble. So there you go. Long is that it's going to be a little while.
So a little while, and yes, Sony Studios is a real thing.
They made the deal, so it's supposed to happen. Sometimes when they haven't started on things, you never know, but it looks strong.
Yes, the higher end homes, that's what they need up there in Summerland West with the mountain views.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's get to the numbers.
Yeah, we just went on a tangent, but that's all right. It's good stuff.
Yep. So last month we had, where are we? 2,724 new listings, single family homes on the market, which is up 7.5% from the prior month and up 6.2% from the prior year. So here's the other thing though. The available homes on the market, there are only 3,323 single family homes listed without offers in the month of March, which is down 4.3% from the prior month and down 20.8% from the prior year.
Yeah, that's that, one off, one on, maybe just 1.5 off.
Yeah, but if you think 3,300 single family homes, not condos or townhomes, some of them are new construction move-in ready homes in the MLS. For a city of over 2.5 million people is not a lot of inventory.
Nope.
So that's why when we have low inventory and we still have the high demand, what happens? Prices increase.
Yep.
And if we continue at the level of having low inventory, we will continue to see median price increases.
Yep. It's a story of supply and demand.
Exactly. Right. So then that brings us to months of supply. And that puts us at 1.6 of months of inventory, which is very, very low.
Yeah.
We were like this last year this time, though. Remember?
Yep.
So this is nothing new. It's the trend that we always face year in and year out, right?
The last several years, yeah.
Yes, right.
And
Since we've been doing the numbers.
Yeah, it was at 1.6 that it bottomed out at?
Yes.
So it'll be interesting because I think in order for your prediction to happen, I think we have to go lower than 1.6. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know what it bottomed out in 2022. I know what it bottomed out last year.
It was close to that.
Maybe, I thought it was 1.5.
Was it maybe 1.5?
But I can research that and find out.
So that's either way. I think that we'd have to, we'll keep an eye on that because that is what it's going to take. Less inventory, less months of supply.
Right.
To
get the median price up.
Yeah.
Unless people are just like overbidding.
Well, they'll have to if there's not enough.
True. So with that said, we're 12.8% down from the previous month and 10.2% down from the previous year. So we actually, I don't think we bottomed to 1.6 until like
later.
April. Yeah, later in the year last year. So that's right. And then 62.5% of the closings was on the market 30 days or less, which is a better number than we've been seeing in the past. That means houses are starting to sell faster. And 56.1% was the month before and 49.6% the year before.
That just tells me that people are putting their properties on the market, pricing them right, and they're selling.
Right. But you do see a lot of houses with price decreases on Zillow or wherever because they overpriced it to begin with. And, that really hurts sellers.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to put your home on the market longer and then make your home look stale. And people are like, why would I want to? It's not fresh listing, right?
Yeah. And I would caution people right now you have to know what your area is doing. What I'm seeing across the country is the same thing I could say is a microcosm of what's happening in Vegas is that not every area is Summerland. Okay.
Right.
Not every area is hot. As soon as you hit, it hits the market, it's going to, go off pretty quickly. You got to really look at that a little bit tighter now and say, okay, these areas might be moving a little slower, might have a little bit more inventory, a little bit more competition. And so that's going to create some different circumstances. And if you list too high, well, you're going to be hanging out.
Yeah. Some areas, the homes aren't selling as fast as others. It's just, typical demand. But, don't, as a buyer, don't expect to offer the day that this house is listing or 2 days or even within the first week, offering a much lower price, especially if they've had a lot of showings. It's a move-in ready home. There's nothing highly renovated with a pool, blah, blah, blah. Don't expect to come in and offer $10K and ask for closing cost assistance. Homes where you can get good deals are homes that have been on the market 30 days or longer. And if you want a great deal, then, those are the homes you need to be looking at.
Yeah. I've worked with a couple of deal shoppers recently, and one, I think we were pretty fortunate to get an FHA assumable.
Oh, I'm doing a VA one.
Are you really?
I'm right about to fill a
nice
one. Yeah.
All right. So that'll be something we can talk about as we go along, because this is something that has become more popular. Now you have to sort of thread the needle with your buyer and seller to be able to do that. But this guy, I don't know that they would be going under contract with anything else that it wasn't this kind of a deal.
And not all sellers are offering the assumable, and not all sellers' loans are assumable.
No, they can't.
So I'm about to submit an offer for a VA assumable loan where the seller got it at 2.5% interest. I mean, it's a no-brainer to assume that loan.
Yep. I looked at some in Anthem with some clients, and there was a VA like that. I think it was actually 2.3.
Oh, wow.
It was ridiculous. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Mark says, thinking of Rhodes Ranch single level home next year, are there many homes that come with solar, or do you think solar panels are worth installing?
I can definitely shed some light on the solar. I think solar is awesome when it's right. If you can find a house that has, especially one that was purchased a few years ago and put on the property, ideally one that is owned You do generally don't want to deal with the leases, although there are some that are decent deals. They're hard to put on your home right now because of financing. I think that's what I'm seeing. Although they can be, I mean, listen, I love my solar. I'm extremely happy that I put my solar on my house.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to solar, right? With the whole utility bills going up tremendously, even though we just got a letter from Nevada Energy stating that it should be down, blah, blah, blah.
We'll see. I got trust issues.
If you can find a home that has solar, then it's worth buying that home. Now, depending on the terms of a home that has either leased or financed solar, it depends on what type of financing it is and what type of lease it is, because sometimes it may not even be worth it, because you may not recoup the cost of the solar on the monthly payments, because sometimes you have monthly payments plus you still have electric bills.
Yeah, the math has to make sense,
right?
And that's definitely something I'm going to key in right away on when I look at it. Now, there are some of these. They're actually what do they call them? Oh gosh, they're not. They're hiding the name in calling it a lease, but it's not a. It's
oh right, it's one of those pay as you consumption.
Yeah,
consume.
Geez, I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's basically a lease. Anyway, some of these are old enough and dated back far enough. They're smashing deals. They're really good. And at the end of the lease term, which is usually about 20 years, you can buy out the system. And usually in there, it's a pretty good deal because it was from an old 2014 prices.
I mean, you're paying this much a month. You should have been paying it. That's why I don't believe in leases, because at least if you're financing and you're paying that, then you're at least getting the cost of the solar unit paid down.
Well,
right?
And this is why I'm saying those cases that are older, they're such a good deal that it doesn't matter that you weren't paying down on it. It's you're walking in and basically getting your energy for for that fixed rate, which is really good. And then in the end, you can buy out the solar system from them. It's not always that you're going to see that, but I guess I'm just saying there are a lot of
If you're thinking about putting solar, you really need to get advice, not from us, but from somebody that's experienced. I highly recommend don't leasing it, either financing it or paying it outright.
You know, it's interesting just to say this about the new homes. Some are adding solar to this. Some you can't buy certain Lennar products without an additional. You have to buy.
And oftentimes they don't cover the full amount of electricity either.
Yeah.
But it's not as a demand as in, say, California, where all new construction requires solar to be put in.
They're saying they're doing this because they're getting ahead of that, and they want to start doing that. They figure that regulation is going to come here.
Right.
We'll see.
Right. All right. So you think home builders are bleeding inventory slowly and not building more to keep slowly low and prices up?
I mean, that could be a little factor, but I think it's more about they just haven't had the land to purchase and build on, and they're still getting caught up from the pandemic time where they couldn't build them fast enough.
And they're still, because of the low inventory on the resale side, the new construction is selling like crazy still, and especially in that Ascension pocket. As we mentioned, the models aren't even open, and they're selling the lots left and right, like they're giving, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So demand, there's new communities popping up over and over again across the Las Vegas Valley. And a lot of builders, certain builders like building the standing inventory homes better. You know, like Taylor Morrison's known for doing it. Pulte's known for doing it. Toll Brothers is known for doing it. Once the market starts slowing down, they may stop it. But what I've seen actually from my clients is building from ground up. Whereas in the last 2 years, I had a lot of clients buy move-in ready homes. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the market shifting with new construction, and they're buying and building from themselves and picking out all their options.
Yeah, we're getting, those are the people that are coming here and putting root down.
Yes.
They're sticking around for a long time, so they want it right.
So that brings us to new builder incentives. How long have we been going? 47 minutes? All right, let's see if we can
knock it out.
Cruise through this.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, with the builders, and which is a perfect segue, a lot of these builders, though, are not as offering as many incentives or as much of an incentive as they were towards the end of the year, right? A lot of them are still offering better interest rates if you use their in-house lenders than if you were to use your own lender. So at least they still have better interest rates compared to what the average is right now. What's the average 30-year at 7 something?
Yeah, I think it creeped up over 7 again. So.
All right. So Century Communities always has something going on, right? And I like this builder because they always have something going on. And they're having their Opportunity Knocks event and take the next step in your home buying journey with a 30-year fixed rate loan on select homes when you're using their affiliated lender, Inspire Home Loans, and get, sorry, I can't speak today, 5.25% interest rate on FHA and VA loans, only on, again, move-in ready homes.
Yeah. All right.
And their rates are available from now, but you must close by
end of May.
Yeah. And then KB Homes has been offering this same thing for a long time now, where you get 5.875% 30-year fixed interest rate on homes that close by November 30th, meaning homes that you are also building from ground up. Mm-hmm. And KB's starting to not do as many move-in ready homes as they were last year.
Yeah.
Pulte is offering a limited time special financing at 30-year fixed loan at 5.25%. So that seems like the common rate, 5.25 on conventional loans only with a minimum of 20% down. You have to use their in-house lender and close on by June 28th.
Yeah.
Okay. Richmond American always has some kind of thing going on as well. There is, let's see, get an additional $5,000 in closing cost assistance on select homes that contracted by April 14th. So you only got 2 more days. But then, you know what? In 2 days, they'll change it and extend it. So it's always the same thing going on, right? They make you sound like the deal's ending, but then they'll change the dates.
Yeah, pretty typically.
Yeah. So a fixed close rate that closes by June 28th. For an FHA and a VA, you get 5.5%, and for a conventional, 5.99. And then if you close by July 31st, you get 5.75% for a VA and FHA, and 6.25 on a 30-year fixed.
Yeah. All right.
Taylor Morrison, same thing. They always have a special interest rate, and theirs is at 5.49% on a 30-year fixed on select quick move-in homes in Las Vegas, and if you use their in-house lender. And you must go under contract from now until April 30th and close by May 31st. Toll Brothers is actually having something.
Yeah, they've been pumping some emails lately.
Choose a beautiful new Toll Brothers quick move-in home and qualify for a special 5.875% jumbo 5-year adjustable rate mortgage when you use Toll Brothers lender. And this offer is subject to change in mortgage rate availability on their quick move-in homes that close by July 31st. But Toll Brothers is always so secretive. They never lay out the real terms, you know, they're not specific.
Yeah, even when you speak to, you know, if it's a little difficult for us to decipher when we go there, I can imagine somebody who's just walking in and it's like, huh?
Right.
You just got to go with it, I guess.
And then TriPoint Homes is having the same event they've had for the last, 3-4 months now. They're offering, there's 2 programs, well, actually 1 program, and it's only for the VA 30-year fixed 2-to-1 buy down, but it's only in Arrow Peak, which is over there in Kyle Point in the Northwest off of 95 in Kyle Canyon. And it's only for VA buyers where the first year they get 3.875, the second year 4.875, and years 3 through 30 they get 5.875. And then they also have a $25,000 in-studio design credit for Citrine on their move-in ready homes.
They've been really trying to push those 2 areas. They do have a incentive that I would want to let people know about, which is that if you're part of like a police, fire department, nurse, healthcare, they do have an extra incentive that they offer.
Like the Home for Heroes kind of
yes,
thing.
that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Thank you for knowing what it was called.
So they have an extra incentive if you do that type of financing if you're one of those type of what do they call those
careers?
Workers?
If you have that type of career.
But is it first line of duty, or what do they call that?
First responder.
First responder.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, basically, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
All right, no other questions. So that's pretty much it, except for we have to go over numbers.
All right.
Who won what?
It looks like, oh, well, I barely sneaked one out.
Yes. So last month, Rob said the median, I went first, so this time you'll go first. But last month, Rob said the median price would increase by 9,000 up to 569. I kind of
prices righted you.
Prices righted me. I was going off of, because we had that huge 5,000 increase. I said we would increase by 10,000, making it 470, which it increased by 5,000, putting the median price at 465. So Rob won that bet.
Yeah, well, you got the next one without offers.
Yes.
I had said 3,500. You said 33. It was 30. You almost on the dot. 33.23.
Yeah.
So great call there. And
yeah, months of supply. Rob said 1.8. I said 1.7, and it was 1.6. So I won that. But last time this year, I was like for 6 months in a row.
Yeah.
Winning. I just have in tune to the spring selling season. Just kidding.
Well, maybe. Yeah. It's not an easy thing to call right now. I think it's just because our numbers just are so, they're not a lot of them. So things can get moved, especially on the median price, where it's like, they can get influenced pretty easily right now.
Right. So
we'll see.
With that said, you get to go first this time on median price.
Well, I think median price is going to go up by a little bit. That's for sure.
What's your number?
I'm going to go with 3,500.
Okay.
I'm going to go a little conservative here.
I like when you go conservative.
Yeah.
I'm not very conservative. All right. So you're going to say 3,500.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 5,000.
All right.
Just to go with my... Hold on.
I mean, it's
wait.
Prices right me.
Well, I'm not going to prices right you, because I feel strong that we will continue, especially for the month of April, have a very good increase. So if we say 5,000 for me, that would put me at 570. And then next month, which would be May, I could be, I'm going to stick to the 5,000.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Without offers, I'm going to continue. Yes, we are going to see more listings, but we will also see them being gobbled up because it's that spring selling season. So I'm going to say we are going to hover around that and maybe just go to 3,200.
All right. Well, I'm just going to, I'll give you a little margin. I'll go 3,275.
All right. What do you say for months of supply?
Well, I think it's going to stick around where it's been at. So, I guess I'll drop it on 1.6.
All right. I'm going to say 1.5.
Okay.
All right.
We're tightening it up in there.
Yep. All right, Rusty. You want to read your Rusty?
Oh, yeah. Rusty Shackelford. What's up, man? Solar is great if you want to spend 30 grand to save a whopping 150 a month. You'll probably need to replace after 25 years anyway, and you won't see much savings. That's not exactly true, though. I would say that, especially if you got an older home or something, there's definitely a lot of savings that you can have when you get solar. Now, with these higher rates, that's where I think it gets troublesome.
Right.
And you are talking about your margins are pretty slim, so maybe it doesn't make so much sense. To buy a home with existing solar that has a great deal on it, that's a different story.
Well, this home we're putting an offer on for the VA has solar paid off. That's
a win. That's just a win.
Yeah.
And also the 25 years thing, we don't know that. The solar, even the oldest solar that's been put in is still running pretty strong. So it's sort of like, what they talk about, they scare you about
there's
the
not
batteries.
enough data on it.
Yeah, so I don't know that there's much to worry about in that way. I think that if you live in areas that have potential for snow, hail, the size of softballs, yeah, you could be replacing solar panels and things, and so that wouldn't be good. But we don't have that too much.
Yeah, the only problem is, yeah, great. You got, if you have solar and you have the electricity savings, but the electricity is not what's killing the bills. It's the gas during the wintertime.
Now the gas is, but the gas costs the energy to go up too. So, we're kind of in a catch-22 right now.
But I mean, my heating bill has been redonkulous, like $300-400 during the the cold months.
Yeah.
How much has your smaller house?
I was nearly $500 for 2 months. For 2 separate, and I was
How
like,
big is your house? Like
1,700 square feet.
Wow.
I mean, it's a perfect house for me, and well, probably somebody else soon. But I can't understand how I was chunking up $248 for my gas.
That's ridiculous for a little your house,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just really just to run my heat,
right? And it's just you, right?
Yeah,
and
I was gone a lot during that time too. I wasn't even home.
Well, you had to warm up your animals.
That's true. I don't keep it cold in there for them. He also said, and if you had put that same 30K in the market for 25 years, I'd say it'd probably go to 300K. I don't know about that.
Well, maybe
stock
more.
Market, maybe.
Well, no, the housing market. Just think, in the 4 years, people had gained at least just in 4 years 300K in equity.
Yeah. So if they bought a house that in 2020 and there was 30,000 to buy it to put down, yeah, you're right. You could be looking at a lot of. I mean, maybe not 300K, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to it, like we said, and we are getting a lot of people who are moving from California here that expect homes to have solar and think it's weird that Vegas doesn't, because Florida's not the sunshine state Vegas is, right?
Yeah, again, it used to be a no-brainer to put the solar like a few years ago, and now it's got to be something you could take a deeper look at.
Oh, so. Exactly, totally. So thoughts, Rob, for how your predictions are for the spring selling season?
Well, yeah, we're going to continue strong. Vegas is a place people want to be. They're exiting places they don't want to be, and we're one of the places they want to be for sure. So I think things will continue to be strong. I also think that it's a real thing when we talk about this settlement and how it's going to affect people's mindsets. And I think there are a lot of people who would like to get in before it becomes convoluted. If they have the plans to do it, they would like to do it before then. And I don't blame them, because even as much as we know about this business, it's a little bit hard to say exactly what's going to go on just yet.
Exactly. I mean, there's two sides to it, and it could help the market or hurt the market. We won't know until it plays out, and then we can have a more accurate picture of what the next 6 months from June to December will look like. But from now until June, I honestly do believe that we will hit the peak. That's my opinion. I believe that we will hit May of 2022's peak. And then we may hit it. And then once July happens, we may just go right back down.
It might be a slide from there if there's not, if there's that convoluted thing that we're talking about. I mean, the one thing I will tell you that I don't believe at all, and unless it affects the market in the way you're talking about, is that this will actually be money savings to the consumer, to the public. I do not believe that's going to happen. Sellers aren't going to just suddenly say, you know what, I'm not paying a buyer's agent, and I will come down on my price by that amount.
Right.
Okay, that's not going to happen. And so now that gets turned over to the buyer, and if they, on certain products, this just does not sound like it's going to. And that, if that was the case, if enough sellers start doing that, now I think it starts hurting their equity, because they may not be able to sell for as high with the buyer demand being lower and lower. It's already low.
Right.
It's already like historically low in some ways. And so now you're going to hit that again with, no, that's not going to be good for sellers. I don't think sellers are going to buy into this. I really don't.
Some have, though, because we read a lot of real estate on Facebook groups about it, and sellers are already like being sticklers about it. But at the end of the day is that one of the complaints about the lawsuit was that the reason why home prices increased was because of the commissions, which is complete false,
Yeah.
because commissions have been going on since a very long time, right? For decades. And our commissions actually went down over these years and not up. You know, we were seeing less and less in percentage than we had been seeing before the boom, right? Because what happened is, in my opinion, sellers got greedy and they wanted more money. So they were offering lower concessions to the buyer's agents to begin with, and to the listing agents as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because paying commissions definitely does not keep the inflated housing prices. What keeps the inflated housing prices is low inventory and people still buying.
Yep. Supply and demand, basic economic stuff right there. You know, there's a lot of components to this that'll have to get sorted out. My feeling is that they will, and you're going to be, as a consumer, we're here to help. And even though we don't know exactly right now, we have our complaints and we have our concerns, we do know that we will bring you exactly what the right approach is going to be going forward.
Exactly. So yes, we almost made it to an hour, but 3 minutes of it was silence.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We had 3 minutes of silence. We'll tip our drink for that 3 minutes of silence there.
Anyway, guys, we really appreciate the comments. We love it when you guys comment. And if you're watching this after the fact, leave a comment down below what you think of our show, what you feel of what's going on with the market or the NAR lawsuit, whatever.
Yeah, tell us what you think
down below. But thank you guys so much for watching.
Rock on.
And do it peacefully. And we'll see you on the next one.
Sorry, I was a little off there. Where was I going with that?
Peace out, folks.